I swear, sometimes you boys are just little savages.
Hello there, spooky pretties, and welcome to Scary Movie Sunday. Happy Mother's Day and cheers to all you mothers out there. I hope you guys are doing something special to treat yourself. You know you deserve it. So sit back, relax, have a glass of wine with me, and let's talk today's scary movie. Delicious. Moscato is my favorite. Have I told you guys that? You guys know I'm a themer, so today's movie is Mother's Day, the 2012 version, because this movie is actually a remake. The original Mother's Day came out in 1980, and I just realized I've never seen that one before. So maybe here on my channel, I'll go back and review that for you guys. But today we're going to talk about the 2012 version. First, I want to start off by saying that this movie actually has a pretty well-known cast. It stars legendary actress Rebecca De Mornay. It also stars Jamie King, who in my opinion is kind of a scream queen in her own right. Not only does she star in this film, but she's also in the remake of Silent Night and the remake of My Bloody Valentine, along with a long list of films. This movie also stars Scream King Shawn Ashmore and Deborah Ann Woll. If you don't know who they are, Google them, IMDb them. You need to know them. Deborah Ann Woll actually stars in Marvel's Daredevil and also True Blood. And Shawn Ashmore is just in a ton of stuff. X-Men, Frozen, seriously, look him up. And don't confuse him with his brother Aaron. They are twins, but they are also two different people and they get mixed up quite often. Anyways, back to the film. It's got a great cast, and honestly, from start to finish, it's extremely action-packed. So let's talk non-spoilers first, just in case you haven't seen this film and you don't want to be ruined, because I will talk spoilers here after this. So to summarize, this film is about a mother and her children, and it starts off pretty much right out the gate, kind of scaring your pants off, kind of a mother's worst nightmare. You see a woman sneak into a hospital and steal a baby out of the nursery. And the security guard trying to keep this woman from getting this baby ends up getting killed in a pretty gruesome way. And that is the intro to this film. Boom goes the dynamite. Then the film segues into a house party, people having a good time, and they rudely get interrupted by three brothers who break into this house because it used to be their house and they think it still is their house, and they don't know that there are new owners to this residence. And they break in because one of the brothers has been shot and is dying, and they're trying to figure out a way to save him. So while they're in this house, basically a ruckus happens. Everything that could go wrong does go wrong. It is brutal from start to finish, and that's all I'm really going to say about that for right now. Hopefully I didn't give away too much for you people not wanting to be spoiled. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie, and as I mentioned, it's got a great cast. Some of the performances are really well done, some of them not so much. And the action itself and the gore and the kills, top notch, and I just think it's worth watching. So if you want to skip the spoilers, stop now. I will have my rating at the end, but if you want to know, you can read the description box below and check out my rating there. All right, we're entering the spoiler section. Cheers to that. All right, so the pros to this movie. I've already said it's got a great cast. It's got great kills, great action, great gore. And it's not boring whatsoever. From start to finish, something is always happening. But that can also be kind of a con too, because I noticed it was really hopping from scene to scene to scene to scene. And sometimes you were missing like key points of dialogue because everything was moving so fast. But again, no really boring elements because of that. So I guess overall, that's a pro. There's also an interesting part to the story that while this whole B&E is happening, there's also a tornado coming. And they talk about the tornado over and over and over again in this movie. And you think at any moment the tornado is just going to show up. But that kind of is on my con list because it's brought up so much and the tornado really never comes. which is kind of disappointing because I think it could have added a really killer layer to the film if the tornado actually hit when all of this was going down. So basically, the B&E, the Breakin' brothers, and we'll call them that, the B&E brothers, they're trying to save their one brother who's been shot. And they think this is their house because their mother and their sister were supposed to have still been occupying it. But there's some confusion. They're not in touch anymore. It's because the older brother, Ike, he lost their emergency contact phone to be able to communicate with his mother and sister. And yeah, so their house has been sold. They break into it not knowing there's a family living there. And not only is there a family living there, but they're actually having a birthday party in the basement full of guests. So bad problem number one. Lo and behold, when the owners realize these people are in their house, they find out they gotta do whatever it takes to survive. So the woman of the house is named Beth, and she is played by Jamie King. She's like, hey, hold up. We've got our friend downstairs who's a doctor, played by Shawn Ashmore. His name is George in the movie. Let me go get George and see if he can fix your brother up. So George comes up and he's like, you need to get your brother to the hospital, but these guys have just robbed a bank. That's why the brother's been shot, and they don't want to go to the hospital. They're like, no hospitals, no cops. You need to fix him and save him right here and now. So Shawn Ashmore gets to work. It's pretty brutal. And everybody else is just trying to figure out a way to survive. Then the one brother finally is able to contact his sister and his mother, and they show up. And the mother is played by Rebecca De Mornay, and the daughter is played by Deborah Ann Woll. And they show up, and you realize that the brothers are kind of crazy for a reason. Their mother is crazy. And Rebecca really plays this character very, very well. She's clearly psycho. So she shows up, and the older brother Ike is like, why are you not living here anymore? Why did you have to sell the house? And she was like, we ran out of money. And then Adley, one of the other brothers, he's like, what do you mean? Haven't you been getting the money we've been sending you here? And she's like, what money? So apparently the brothers have been sending cash to this home address for months, and their mom has not received a dime of it. So they're like, who's got our money? So they go to the homeowners, and the husband's like, no, I don't have it. And the wife's like, no, I don't have it. And Rebecca's like, one of you is lying, and I'm going to find out who. And I'm not going to let any of you go until I get my money. So then that's really where the story takes off. She says if everybody can keep the peace, nobody will get hurt. If the money shows up, nobody will get hurt. But what do these dumb people in this movie do? They keep trying to escape. They keep trying to attack the family. They keep causing problems. Nobody has a real solid idea. They keep just going off on their own and trying to get away. And of course, that leads to people getting killed and hurt in a million different ways. So like I said, this movie is action-packed and nonstop because there's always something going on. There's torture, there's attempted rape, there's so much violence in this film. Like, they have it all. There's violence and death by gunshots, knives, fire. They pull a scream and they smash a TV on somebody's head. There's a nail gun. There's people getting run over by cars. I'm trying to think of every single thing. There's people getting smacked in the head by cutting boards and kitchen utensils. And it's just an all-out brawl. Holy shit, Gizmo scared the fuck out of me. All right, my dog just busted in the room and really scared me. Come here, let's tell the people hello, you little shit. Come here. Oh, girl. Where was I? So yes, this movie has it all in regards to gore and kills and bloodshed. Any kind of torture you can think of is in this movie, which is really, really cool. But again, it kind of distracts from the overall storyline. But I mean, it's a horror film. Like, they know the gore is going to make up for the lack of storytelling. That is one con I would like to bring up is while this movie is fun and it really gets you in the mood of what's happening and kind of sets the tone. They don't really provide a lot of character development, especially in the beginning. Like, the movie just starts right off and you have no idea who these people are to each other. But you kind of find out more throughout the movie, which is nice because it was really, really lacking in the beginning and kind of confusing on who was who. But it gets told more throughout the movie and makes more sense. So that was good because, honestly, movie directors, if you're watching, us horror fans do like some character development. So please, cheers to putting more of that in your films. So, towards the end of the film, you finally find out who's got their money. Jamie King, the mom or the wife, she has the money. And she's been hoarding it for a reason. We find out that her and her husband lost their 6-year-old son to a hit-and-run car accident, and it kind of ruined their marriage. The husband ends up cheating with one of the girls that's at the party. We finally find out a little bit more about that. And now Jamie King's character is pregnant with a new baby. And that's why she's been hiding the money, because she has been wanting to get away from her husband and leave the marriage and have a fresh start. Go figure. So the innocent little Jamie King ends up being a pretty good liar and pretty much a badass. She starts out real sheepish in the beginning, like most Survivor girls do, and ends up kicking some major ass towards the end of this film. So at first, Rebecca De Mornay's character is like, oh, I get it, I'll do anything for my children. Well, then she just gets pissed off because the people in the basement end up killing one of her sons. So she goes a little extra cuckoo and starts killing them with no regrets. She said if you kept the peace, no one would get hurt or killed. Well, you fucking killed her baby boy, so all is fair in love and war. So she starts knocking people off left and right, and yeah, there's no safety net anymore. So Jamie King and Rebecca De Mornay's characters get into this massive battle, which is very reminiscent of Mrs. Voorhees and Alice in Friday the 13th, their battle. It's very similar to that, gave me a lot of vibes. They both were just picking up random weapons left and right, beating the shit out of each other, which is very similar to Friday the 13th. So I really liked the little nod to that. That was nice and also pretty hysterical. So this movie ends pretty cool, in my opinion. If you don't want to know the twist, stop watching. But Jamie King and a couple of her friends survive. They get out of the house. They think they've burned the mother alive. They think all her sons are dead. But guess what? 9 months later, Jamie King pops out a baby, a beautiful baby. While she's sleeping in the hospital, the emergency alarms go off. It's like 2:30 in the morning, and she sneaks down to the nursery, and sure as shit, her baby is gone. Boom, mic drop. We see riding off into the sunset is the mom, the remaining sister, and one of the brothers who did not die. The one that got shot. The one George, Shawn Ashmore's character, was taken care of. He fucking survived when he should have been dead. Whatever. But they steal her baby, and that's how the movie ends. It does not end with a happily ever after. It actually kind of ends on possibly having a sequel. But considering this movie was done in 2012, I think that ship has sailed. But you never know. But I just thought it was a really cool way to end the film. So overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I do think there's some lack of character development and storytelling, and it is kind of all over the place from scene to scene to scene. But I would give this movie a solid 3 out of 5 stars. It's enjoyable, it's gory, and it's entertaining. So it keeps my attention, and I really, really love the ending. So if you guys have seen this movie, I really want to know what you guys think of it. Or check it out today in honor of Mother's Day and all the crazy mothers out there. We would do anything for our children. I will catch you guys here on Wednesday to continue my Scream Collection series, and I'll be back next weekend for another scary movie review. Stay tuned. Keep it weird, guys. Make it Meggie. Bye.